talk. Always good to get that first one on opening day. I thought our guys, to go down 2-0 like that right out of the gate, I thought we responded quickly, which was big for our team. And you have some returners that set the tone like Danny and Angel. Got us right back in it. And then it says a lot about Brandon. I didn't think he had his best stuff, but he still got us into the 6th inning. That's what your Friday starter is supposed to do. He's reminded me, I hate to put this on him, but he reminds me a lot of Ken Emanuel from the standpoint he's going to give up some hits, going to give up a couple runs here or there, but his command's good enough where he's going to have a chance to pitch deep into the game. So he did just that, and I thought he was starting to throw his best his last 3 innings, so that's a great sign. But a good overall win, no errors, and that's probably the thing I'm most proud of is no errors defensively.
Coach, you talked there about, falling down 2-0 and then your 2 veterans step up. I mean, we've talked so much this offseason about just the value of having those 2 guys come back. I mean, how good is it to see that, though, just pay off in such a tangible way, right out the gate?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, when guys are that talented and they come back, it's clear that they want to be back. Because even though Angel wasn't drafted, one reason Angel wasn't is because he said, unless it's something worth me not going back to UNC for, I'm not going to sign. So he kind of fell out after the 10th round. But they're leaders. They've been unbelievable for our younger guys. And they've really worked. I mean, Angel and Danny, they're just not satisfied with where they are as players. And they spend a lot of time with Coach Wisbicki in the cages, and they both work hard on being great defenders. So, having these 2 guys back has been really big for our team.
Scott, I know you've spoken highly of Vance so far and yesterday, but today it's got to be one of the better games by a freshman in his collegiate debut. What did you think of what you saw out of him today?
Yeah, Vance is so talented. He's as fast as any kid that I've coached, as good as an outfielder, considering he played shortstop in high school. But Vance was also a high school quarterback and won a state championship. So when a lot of guys were spending a lot of time, on the baseball field, he was playing football. So with him now just playing baseball, he's started to catch up pretty quickly. And we actually contemplated leading him off, but we just felt like to begin the season with Angel and Danny, that's a hard first 2. But I mean, geez, your first hit's a home run, and your second hit, well, I guess it barely fell in, but you got 2 home runs and a stolen base. So 4 RBIs. It's a pretty dang good day for a freshman.
Coach, if you could use one word to describe your team today, what would it be? And what impressed you the most about your team's performance today, besides the errors?
I would say toughness. I think we weren't very good at all last year when we got down. We were front runners, and we've talked about it. And you can't win championships if that's the way you are. Matter of fact, you got to be better when your back is, against the wall. And to see that right out of the gate was good. I think our team believes in each other, and they believe that 1 through 9 in our lineup can hit a home run or hit a double. So we're never going to be out of a game. And, that's one thing we've worked on or talked a lot about, but you have to apply it and understanding what toughness truly is. And I thought they showed that right away.
Coach, you've talked just about, with Thomas Frick. It seemed like as times last season, it would seem like, when he got into runners in scoring position situations, because he's so energetic, you'd see him kind of that heart racing. You kind of see it a little bit. To be able to slot him in the cleanup spot tonight, in the season opener, and to see him come out there and be 2 for 4, I mean, what does that really kind of say about just the maturity he's kind of developed over this last year?
That's a great question. And we spent a lot of time on working on runners in scoring position, but there are certain things you have to do to work on it. And, I want to give a shout out to Jenny Shannon, who's one of our sports psychologists. She meets with our pitchers separately and our position players. And it's really, we've seen a lot of benefit from it. Breathing techniques, routines, self-talk. And when you're like a guy like Tomas, that's full of energy and that's how you play, you have to, as a hitter, you have to have a routine, you have to have a release, you have to control your breathing. I'm sure you guys have seen some of that stuff on Longoria a while back, but he's worked hard on that, and he's had a good preseason, him and Johnny really have worked on controlling the zone, slowing the game down a little bit when they do get 2 strikes, because you're going to hit with 2 strikes too, with about 54% of the time. But Tomas, you're exactly right. He struggled in that situation, but he struggled because he was just trying so hard and he was swinging at everything. And, he's worked harder at just trying to move the ball, stay short, and and if you walk, the guy behind me has to take care of it.
Scott, I noticed your team pregame stood out there in left field, watched the hype video or whatnot. Is that something that you guys have done in the past? It's just something that stood out to me. You guys stood out there and watched the whole thing together.
I knew that they were going to be playing it. We've talked about, we spent a lot of time this whole season, looking back, your first year as a head coach, you think, okay, what can we do better? But also it's a little bit of a whirlwind. And even with COVID and not being able to have former players around as much because of COVID, I've really tried to have guys be around and really talk to our players about the tradition of the University of North Carolina and who came before you. And I believe a stat somebody shared with me the other day is we have the 2nd most wins of anybody in the country since 2001. So 2 things we've talked about is understanding where you are and how special this place is and who came before you to give you everything that you have. And, you have an opportunity to do the same thing. You want to leave it better than when you got here. So we've had Rob Wooten just spoke to our team not long ago, and Andrew Miller was in town. So, it's important these guys understand the tradition of Carolina baseball, and also, saying, okay, we want everybody to respect that tradition and understand that, we do have a good program, and we're not going to back down from anybody at any time.
Coach, even though things were working well today, would you say that there's anything you're hoping to see over the next 2 games? Any changes you'd like to see or any improvements you'd like to see?
Just looking over the box score, I know we only walked 2 as a pitching staff, so that was good. I think Brandon hit 1, maybe 2. So Brandon gave up 4 free passes, so we want to eliminate those, but we struck some guys out. And our goal every game is to try to have close to equal walks to strikeouts. But obviously when you have some power hitters and you're hitting some home runs, you might have a couple of strikeouts, but we're also working hard on that. So I believe we had 7 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 1 hit by pitch. So we're pretty close. But we want to continue to work on those things. I like that box score. Number one, you like it when you win, but you also like it offensively. When you're pretty even, or maybe even more, because that puts a lot of pressure on the defense when they know that you can control the strike zone. And then defensively, just to continue to understand, I thought there were some fly balls, honestly, that we should have caught. That with the win, we've got to make those plays, even though they don't show up as errors. I think those are plays that if you don't make, they can come back to bite you.
Coach, what was that?
Go ahead, Pat.
I was just going to say, obviously, opening day is always just such a big deal when it comes to baseball. You look back a year ago, no fans really because of COVID restrictions and everything. What did it mean to just be able to have that sort of experience, today?
Man, for our players, and that's who I most. You coach long enough, you should go in that direction more and more. Like, okay, these guys deserve to have fans. It's been really hard on them. I'm an adult, and COVID was difficult, but if I was their age and not having, the interactions and be to go to class, and our guys were just together, they couldn't do normal things that they should be able to do. So, that was awesome to see, and to see our fans and to see them into the game. And I tell you too, personally, it was a lot different for me walking up to home plate. It was a totally different feeling. Even though there were no fans, it was, kind of like, holy crap, this is my first game as the head coach at the University of North Carolina. And that only happens one time, thankfully. So I walked up there and I walked back and I was like, man, that's a lot different feeling today. So hopefully that's a good thing. You guys good?
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Brandon.
Thank you, Scott.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, we have Brandon here. We'll take questions for Brandon.
Hey, Brandon. Obviously, come out there, they're able to strike off you a little bit there early, but you're able to settle down. I mean, just kind of what was the key to just kind of finding your groove after the kind of the early little blip?
I mean, going out there, it's a completely different scene than I'm used to. It's awesome. I mean, the fans and everything like that, it's awesome. But it's basically, just settling down and really, sticking to what my strengths are, is just throwing strikes, pounding the zone, and getting ahead of guys like I talked about before. Made a few bad pitches. They put a few good swings on the ball, and before you know it's 2-0. But just being able to go back out there and settle into it was the key.
Hey, Brandon, it's a quick turnaround for you guys. You're playing tomorrow afternoon. What do you do to prepare on such a quick timetable?
I mean, honestly, a lot of the preparation's done before you get to the weekend. We go in with a game plan, and hopefully that continues to carry you through the weekend. But you got to have a short mind in baseball. I mean, whether you had a good day today or a bad day today, you got to brush it off and forget about it, and then go out tomorrow and play it like it's your last game. And if you do that, then you're going to give yourself and your team a good chance to win every single day.
And Coach Forbes talked about the tradition of Carolina baseball, and you guys stood out there in left field and watched the hype video. Just what did that mean to kind of see the highlights and whatnot of all the guys before you, and just to stand out there with the team in your first game as a Tar Heel?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty surreal moment. I mean, you grow up watching, these games on TV, like you said, these guys that came before us, who, big leaguers, and just their impact that they had on the game. And then you look down and you're wearing that same jersey that they were wearing. I mean, it is pretty surreal. It just adds to the whole, effect of opening day, and just, what it actually means to be a Tar Heel. And that feeling really is second to none. It's pretty cool.
Brandon,
How would you describe your performance today? Oh, sorry, Pat.
I mean, I thought it was okay. I mean, first inning was a little rough. After that, I was able to settle in. Would definitely like to improve on that for next start. But I think it's a good place to start for the year, and have some things to work on, and I can build off of that.
you've kind of talked about it a little bit. I mean, I guess were there some jitters going out there today, whether it be in the bullpen or things like that? I mean, I know you want to treat it like any other start, but I'm sure in some ways, I mean, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. I was telling myself last night, just, it's another game. This morning, it's another game. And when you get on that mound, I mean, I was actually good until I got on that mound, and then getting out there on the game mound, it was pretty surreal, like I said. But I mean, after the first thing, I think I was able to settle in pretty good, but I was a little nervous out there for sure.
Anything else for Brandon, guys?
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon.
All right, guys, Vance is here,
How are you guys doing?
so we'll take questions from Vance.
Hey, Vance.
How are you?
Good for you. Congrats.
Thank you.
Obviously, I mean, given your family and everything, just the lineage with the connection here to UNC, I mean, just to be able to come out here and have this sort of game, your very first time out here, I mean, just what does that mean to you?
It's awesome. I mean, I came out pretty nervous. Like I was growing up coming to these games and watching these just great players play here. I mean, whenever I was younger, and to be able to, like Brandon said, wear the jersey and just play for this amazing program, it just means the world.
Vance, you had a great game today. What do you hope to continue doing to improve over the next couple of days?
Sorry, I missed the first part.
So you had a great game today. So I was just wondering, what are you hoping to do to improve over the next couple of games this weekend?
Just doing anything I can to help the team win. I mean, it's not about individual accolades. It's just at the end of the day, you want to see that W in the box score, and any way that works, it's good with me.
Vance, what mindset did you bring into opening weekend? Like what as an individual, and then what was the game plan that Coach Forbes and the staff talked about as a team for this first 3 games?
An individual, just go out there and have fun. Just compete and have fun. And then as a team, we talked about the pitchers the pitcher we were going to face today, the starter,
and we watched some video on him and just kind of see it up, and that he might leak over the plate, and if he does, we just got to punish it. And I thought that a lot of us were able to do that, and it was crazy to see Angel do on the first pitch.
And kind of going off that a little bit. I mean, obviously, falling behind 2-0 the first game of the season isn't like the worst thing in the world. Be able to come back right back, and you strike those 2 home runs by Angel and Danny. Just what can you say about those two, and just what that did for you guys, and just how kind of tangible is that sort of veteran presence that both of them bring to this team? It's
huge. They're great leaders. They bring it every single day. They want to make everybody better. And it was one of the crazier starts to a baseball game I've ever seen in my life, and glad to be a part of it and glad to be on this side of it.
Vance, I want to get your take. I wanted to get your take, Vance, on the pregame, watching the pregame hype video out in left field with the whole team, and just kind of what that meant with everyone standing out there together, watching some of those highlights and whatnot.
Yeah, it's just reminding everybody where we're at. Like I said before, it's a great program, a lot of culture, and seeing all these National Players of the Year, trips to Omaha, and ACC tournament appearances and champions. Just seeing all the players that played before you, and just knowing that you're in you're in the spot and you have an opportunity to do something about it, and it was awesome.